Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to install a single pocket door or cavity slider. You might see some of the other videos where we've done double doors or telescopic doors. If you need to do that, refer to those videos. But what we've got here for delivery is basically the cavity sliding unit or the pocket unit with the rails. We've got the head unit, which is the aluminium track. This has also got the soft close and soft open in it. We've got the Jamb style and the door itself. Now the door comes rebaited at the top here, which you'll see for our hanging bolts to go onto, and the bottom of the door is also routed out to slide along the guide. Now what you need for the installation is some basic sort of tools, drill with a Phillips head, a good level, and some plastic packers and some screws, a few other little tools, but that's about the bulk of what you're going to. So that hanging bolt goes in the roller, that'll eventually go in the top of our track. Then we've got our two supports at the top of the door, which will bolt into the little routed section that I showed previously in the edge of the door. Two door stops, we're not going to need that for this configuration because we've got a soft open and a soft close, and the little key for the adjustment once we get the door in place to be able to adjust our heights. Now you'll see inside our head unit we've got another roller there which is attached to our soft close mechanism here. The secondary pin will just be screwed into that roller, and then once that's in, that acts as a guide then for our soft close mechanism. So you see how that shuts, and then at the other end you'll see where that little pin is. This mechanism will catch against that and also do a soft close. You'll see there's nothing holding it there, but when it hits this little clip or that little clip, it has the slow close. And inside our head track there's a little stopper with two screws at each end. There's adjustment in there which I'll show you later, and that will align where our door stops against our jamb. Alright, now the next step is to assemble the head unit to the cavity base. But before we do that, take the single roller that came in the kit and slide that into the track first before assembly. It'll just make life a lot easier. You can put it in later. There is a little section up here, an extrusion in the profile which I'll show you, that can come out, but you'll have to take the soft close and everything out first to then be able to slide that bit back in and reassemble it, which is easy enough to do, but this is a lot easier at the start. Once you've got that in, it should just fit into the extrusions nice and snugly. And then you got these pre-drilled holes at the top and at the back. Now the screws that we use, there's two lots of screws that came in the pack. There's the countersunk head screws and the pan head screws. We're going to use the pan head on the top of the door, and the countersunk screws get used for here. You can start by assembling this. Nothing needs to be pre-drilled, it all should just line up on the top. Alright, now we have our jamb side, or our style side, which will just slide over this extrusion and get nailed into the end here. I'm going to leave this off for now because we may have to adjust this cavity slider up or down depending on our floor finishes, so I'll fit that at a later date. And this is roughly where it's going to be installed. Now the other part of the assembly is just putting these hanging bolts into these routed sections at the top of the door. So I'll screw those on now, and then we'll go put our frame in. 4 screws per hanging bracket. And you'll see on the top of these brackets there's a little spring-loaded clip that adjusts like that. It's just a matter of having both of those on the top of the door in the same direction. You don't want one this way and then one that way. So just pick a direction and make them both the same. Slide that in and pop our screws in. I'll just go one into each corner of this elongated slot. Now the good thing about this installation, it's in a new build, so there's no action. It's not like a renovation where we have to pull sheets of gyprock or plaster off the wall. It's simply going straight into the frame. The only thing I have to do is cut out this bottom plate here. So I'm just going to cut this out to make way for our cavity to sit in, and then I'm going to pack the base level, pack this style level, and then we can pretty much put it in, screw it off, and we're good to go. Alright, so I've just got the cavity sitting in there temporarily, and I'm just going to mark where the end of it comes to here, just so I know where my packing goes. Okay, now like I mentioned before, the most important thing is to make sure that this is plumb and level at the jamb side, at the base of the cavity, and also at the floor. I've got my plastic packers, and I'm just going to slot in what I need to in 3 positions, bottom, middle, and top. Yep, that's good. Now check the base. Now, I've mentioned this in previous videos, the critical thing is knowing what's going on the floor. If you've got a 20mm timber flooring, you may need to pack it up that 20mm so the door actually, the cavity unit is sitting above where that's going to go. Here we're just having 10mm tiles direct stuck on top here of the concrete. So we're going to start with a 5mm packer here and then work our way back. Okay, that's now level through the base, and we're level up the side. So we should be good to drop this unit in place. Now the back of the aluminium extrusions here have holes in them, so you can actually put your fixing points through there. So I'm just going to tack this into place for now. Alright, next step is to drill a hole in the base so we can fix this off. just to go through the aluminium so we can get a plug in. Once the hole is drilled in the base, we're going to need a bit of spaghetti or a plug to be able to go through. For this one, I'm going to put a hammer drill down into the concrete. Before we fix the base off, we just need to make sure that this stile is perfectly plumb. Because we've got our back plumb there, this also needs to be plumb, and then we can pin that to the concrete. Now I can knock my bit of spaghetti in, and now I just put a pan head screw in there just to pin that down to the slab. And that just makes that bottom nice and solid. Now the last step of our frame install is to put this jamb in. Now that we know the height, we can pretty much cut this in place. So I'm going to measure from my slab back up to here. Now you can check this with the level, but it is an aluminium extrusion, so it's quite solid. Should be within a couple of mil. If it was a big double door, you'd probably drill a hole up in here, put some packers in the top and screw it up just to take the weight. But in this installation, once this is actually cut in and put against the stud here, that's going to take the weight of this side of the door jamb. All right, now this should just slide straight under. And now it's just a matter of putting the packing behind here and getting this plumb, this jamb style plumb. Once we've got that in, we can fit our door and we're off to the races. Oh, now that jamb's packed, this should just go straight on and screw into position. Like where my packers are for my screws to go through. Use a 10mm spacer to check your plasterboard spacings on each side. Now we can remove all these packers that are inside here, just so we can get our door in position. All right, now that cavity is unobstructed, our door should go in. What I like to do is get some packers in the bottom to get it up close to the height, sit it on the packers, and then slide it in. All right, now I'm not going to lie, this is the tricky part. Trying to get these in. It's just a matter of doing one side of the door at a time. I like to try and put the end in. Leave the door out slightly so you can get your hands on it to lift it up and down. Move this across, adjust the little clip. You can use the tool to push it across. And once it goes across, it should lock in. That's locked in on that side. Once it's locked in, you can make any further adjustments you need to take it up or down. Now that's clipped in, you can make all the necessary adjustments at the top to get it hitting nice and plumb against the jamb. All right, now that our door's on, it's just time for the final adjustments on the soft close stoppers. So you'll see here when I push this closed, the last little bit is where the soft close takes place. My door is sitting out probably about 30mm. Now you can adjust that if you want your door to sit completely flush and you've got a finger pull to pull it out, or if you want the door to sit a little bit proud so you can put 2 pull handles on there, you can do that as well. The moment you'll see I've moved the soft stop out of the way so it'll just slam. But now to prevent that, I'll show you how to adjust this stop that's up the top. Okay, now you see up here, this is our stopper, and there's 2 screws up here that basically need to be adjusted to get this into place. So I'm going to slide this across to where I think roughly it's going to cause the soft close to initiate itself. I'm just going to tack it there for now, and then we're going to test it. Okay, so you can see it didn't quite slam as hard as last time. It's catching, but it still is pushing a little bit tight against there. So I'll move it back a fraction more. We'll see how that goes. Now, same thing goes for the stopper on this end. It's just a matter of making some final adjustments on where we want that one to go. All right, so there you have it. Quick pocket door installation guide. If you want some more tips on how this goes through, or you want to follow the step-by-step instructions, head to Premium Sliders website. I'll put the link below so you can see it. There are QR codes on some of the products that you can scan that will take you to the how-to guides, but hopefully this is a good video to give you a bit of a hands-on how-to practical experience. All right guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.